What's going on, y'all? So, I am back again for another episode review of Catfish Season 6, Episode 4, Telizza and Shai. Listen, I thought this episode, it was pissing me off because I was like, girl, but it turned out to be kind of cute at the end. I ain't gonna be such a stone cold hearted ass bitch or whatever about it. It was kind of cute because they was young. They was young as fuck. Well, one of the girls just turned 20. So this is a little first time lesbian type of, figuring out my sexuality type of thing, so I'm a little sensitive about this subject. And I was sitting here like, bitch, you ain't talking to no bitch. You talking to somebody mama. You talking to somebody brother or whatever. Like somebody playing games, your friend. So it's this girl named Telizza. She just graduated from high school from Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town. And so she like 17, 18 years old. She just got out of this relationship with her boyfriend of 4 years who was cheating on her. And she just said, fuck you. And she, was alone and all that stuff. So she started talking to this girl named Shai who actually inboxed her and sent her a friend request. And, they just started talking and she was able to, put out her whole feelings about everything that was going on with the breakup and how depressed she was feeling. And, eventually those being that ear or that person to talk to or listen to while I'm just, venting my feelings and what's going on turned into deeper feelings supposedly on both ends. Now, the girl that she was talking to named Shai, she said that she was in Kansas City, Missouri. Okay. Um, so we have she going through all the stuff, and she was like, at one point, it seemed like she was catfish because, her friends was even saying that she might be catfish, and even her family was saying it too. But this is the first girl that, Telizza has ever felt these feelings for and, was cool with like that. So she just don't want to be hurt because they've been talking for a year or so. She's about to go to school, and she just doesn't want you know, that pain, that heartache. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, you so young, you so dumb. Oh, you're about to get your heart broken again. Okay, boo boo. I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's exactly what's about to happen. Okay, so what ended up happening, Neve and Max come out there to Chicago. And when they get to old girl house, it was her friend Antonice at the door, right? She was like, so wait a minute, this your friend? Are you the catfish? Let's be honest. Are you the catfish? She was like, no, I am not. I'm just her friend because I wanted to be here. Antonice was me, okay? Antonice was me all the fucking way, all right? Bitch, I ain't finna catfish nobody, but I'm gonna be there because if you my girl, you my girl, you my friend or whatever, I'm gonna have your back 100%. But I want to be on camera too a little bit. I want to see and let y'all know the real deal because, bitch, she probably ain't gonna tell y'all what it is. I'm be like, no, 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 no. That ain't how it go, bitch. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Okay, girl. And Antonice was, ride or die for her. And I like that cute little friendship that they had. They young, so it's fresh, and that's what they do. That's how long-term relationships develop and form and all that stuff and continue on till, years and years later. They sit on the couch and they're talking about what was going on and how, they checked the pictures, nothing showed up. And Antonice was like, and the bitch don't even have her pictures tagged. Like, she don't tag nobody. I seen all the pictures and stuff. She ain't got no personal stuff. And I was like, you should have told your girl. She telling her, girl, this stuff is catfishing. Okay, this ain't real. She don't have nobody tagged in the video, in the pictures. Y'all can't video chat. Um, she don't want to meet up. It was just a lot of suspect stuff. Okay, she said she in Kansas, Missouri, but she, you're not really sure if she really there. It was just a typical catfish situation. The pictures do look like they wasn't to the girl. I just looked at her and said, no, girl, that's too good to be true. That's too good to be true. Because the girl in the picture, she looks older than what her age supposed to be. She's supposed to be around the same age as Telizza, and she's like 18. So I think she was like 17 or 18 years old. And I'm just sitting here like, when your family and your friends are telling you that this is too good to be true, the girl don't want to contact you like that, avoiding you, and you don't know much about her. And that's my thing, okay? I don't give off. If you want me to give off some information about myself, you have to give me some information about you. If this is going to be a give and take thing, not just a give and give or a take and take, okay? I'm not going to give you everything and you give me nothing. No. And that's where Telizza fucked up at, okay? She was telling this girl all her business, and like Max and Nee said, what if this is somebody that's close to her, that's actually in her family or her friend, who is playing games with her, who got all this personal information out of her, and she has yet to come out or say that she was having feelings towards the same sex, and now you got all this information that could be used as, blackmail or, just vindictive reasons or whatever, And I said, it better not be Antonice, because I actually like her. When it was a moment that they had, she was like, I just really wanted to be Shai. It would be her. And she broke down crying. And Antonice was like, it's going to be okay. I said, look at this shit. This is so fucking cute. I said, y'all really trying to make me not go in on these little girls. All right. I said, first of all, y'all too young to be worrying about a goddamn relationship, but whatever. I'm just sitting here like, God damn it, bitch. I want to go off, but I can't. Y'all threw me a fucking curveball. Okay. Y'all said we need to calm down in the episodes for a second. But, we're going to calm it down a little bit because it was kind of cute. Like I said, the episode was kind of cute. They try and find all this information on Shai. They do the pictures. Nothing popped up. They couldn't even find out who the real girl in the picture was. They never said who she was. I want to know who she was because she was cute. Antonice was like, the girl was fine. I mean, she was cute. She was cute. I said, girl, shut up. She's like, I wouldn't do it, but she was cute. I said, girl, you making yourself look suspect. All right. So they looking up the pictures, they can't find anything. Then they go on her Facebook and they say that she works at this place called Temptations or whatever out in Kansas City, Missouri, and she just started working there in August 2016. And so they called the place and they said, we don't have nobody named Shai working here or anything by that name. Okay, fine. They looking at some other stuff. They try to check out the number. It comes to an unknown number, and it doesn't even come to a Missouri number. It comes to a Kansas number, like the state Kansas, okay? I said, this girl is out here using them Google Voice numbers or them WhatsApp numbers where you can, put the different area codes that you want to do in, fake numbers or whatever. And I said, child, red flags all over the place. Now, this girl knew she was getting catfish. You couldn't tell me no difference. If you have your suspicion like this, you know. I think she just really wanted to know who the fuck it was, okay? She had probably like 15% hope that it probably would have been the real Shai, but it really wasn't, girl. We already knew that wasn't going to happen. I think she kind of mentally prepared herself for that because it wasn't the reaction that I thought it was going to be. Like, you bitch, because bitch, I would have been like, oh, fuck this bitch. Because they get the number, they call old girl, come to find out, she don't answer the phone. At first, they sat down with Telizza and told her all the stuff that was going on, and they found out that the girl was actually friends with her friend Antonice, and they was like, do you think Antonice got a thing for you? She was like, no, I mean, some of my family say that, but nah, I just don't see it, and I don't see her doing this or whatever. Is it weird to you that she friends with old girl? She was like, nah, because she probably was in there doing background check and all that shit. That's what friends do. I was sitting here like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because that's what they say they doing. Antonice was like, yes, bitch, and I be watching Catfish, and I seen this, and I seen that. I said, calm that shit down a little bit, girl. Calm it down, because you make yourself look suspect. But her friend was like, no, I mean, the bitch crazy as fuck, but she ain't gonna go that far and hurt me like that. And, they was like, her actions or whatever, a little suspicious, but okay, if you say so. So they finally called old girl. Old girl don't answer the phone, but she calls back. She don't call Neve back. She calls Telizza back. And she was like, so you really got these people calling my phone? Did you just call them and all this stuff? She was like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? I mean, I just want to meet you. Like, I just really want to meet you. And she was like, I just don't know right now because it's just a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know. Like, you really got Neve and them calling my phone. Yeah, this is Neve. I said Neve. Damn, just take her phone out of her hand. Neve gangster with it, okay? He ain't scared. So he was just like, she trying to meet you, and we trying to figure out who you are, and you know, this been a long time in the making. Like, she's about to go to school, and this decision will help her on whether or not she's gonna go to school. I said, what they got to do with her going to school? No, girl, you gonna go to school regardless. Fuck that. We don't play these games out here in these streets, okay? You go to school. We told you about this, okay? We have told you guys about this. School over hoes, okay? You will always find a bitch later. All right, get that education because that's gonna come in handy, okay? Fuck a bitch, okay? But I mean, if you want to just fuck them, fuck them. But don't do that all stuff. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. So she was doing all this stuff, and I'm listening to the voice. I'm like, she got a little accent, and it sounded like either. I was like, is it a West Caribbean? Like, she can be from the islands or be from a island descent, and I just couldn't place it. I really couldn't place it. It was very faint, but you can kind of hear it. But I was just like, I'm confused a little bit. And I said, no, this ain't Antonice. And they realized that it wasn't Antonice. And she was like, okay, yeah, you can come out and meet me. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. So they go get the plane ticket. Baby, Telizza ain't never been out of Chicago. This her first plane ride. They was like, baby, this all the stuff you gonna buy? She was like, yes. Baby, she had a little book bag, and it looked like it probably only had a couple of shirts and a couple of drawers, a couple of bras, and a couple of pair of socks, and that was it, in a dress. That was it. Okay. I said, pack light, baby, yes, so that bag can fly free. Okay. You sit that bitch on your lap, and you ain't gotta pay nothing extra. I mean, even though you weren't paying shit. Baby, they are on the way to the airport. And in the middle to the airport, mind you, that text said 7:34 a.m. They got an early morning flight too. I was like, oh, you sound like me because I get them early flights too, okay? So I can get there by 8 o'clock. One of the earliest flights I had was like 5 something in the morning. So I got my destination like at 8 something when I got 7, 8 something, whatever. It works, trust and believe. But they almost to the airport, and then they get a text. She was like, you really coming? I was like, yeah, we on our way. We on our way to the export right now. She was texting me. And child, she was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. But I got to tell you something. I'm not in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I said, bitch, that's what it is. The accent all came together. And I said, she ain't lying about this one because that accent just threw it all together for me. And I said, bitch, as soon as she said that, that would have been it for me. Okay. They working with MTV money. MTV didn't give a fuck because they went on ahead and got the shit situated and switched the flights. They was kind of figuring out, what is she going to take me to Brooklyn and it's not really her and all that stuff. And this is just another catfish to run around and all this shit. She playing game. She going to say, I wouldn't lie to you. But you just lied. You just did, girl. Child, when that bitch would have said, we going to Brooklyn, I would have said, you know what? You can turn this car around. First of all, it's 7 something in the morning. We can still catch the McDonald's all not the all day breakfast, but the other menu that they put, the rest of the items that they put in the breakfast menu from now to 10:30, we can still catch that. Go pick me up something to drink. I already had my little Starbucks. That's what Telizza had. Okay, and then you can drop my ass off at home. I'm finna delete this bitch right here, right now. I ain't got fucking time. But if you want to flat me out and we can just go do something, we can go do that. But bitch, we ain't got time for this shit. I would have been done. Okay, the show would have been over right then and there. Okay, I ain't got time for this. All right. But they went on ahead and got on that 4-hour flight to New York, okay? And so the girl wouldn't give them an address like a neighborhood or anything. It was like pulling teeth trying to get the information out of her. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? She said, when you get to Brooklyn, just text me because I'll let you know exactly where to come. And so they get there finally, and she gives this address. And they driving, and Eve was like, I ain't never been in this area before. What is going on? They pull up to the back, and it looked like this truck. It looked like a warehouse district or whatever. It's trash all on the ground. She by a gate. And, of course, it wasn't Shai. It was some bitch named Makita, okay? Chunky little girl. She wasn't ugly or nothing. I said, girl, why you couldn't use your own self? Okay? I'm looking at Telizza's face. I couldn't tell whether or not she was really disappointed or because she hit it kind of well. I'm pretty sure she was. But her whole thing was, why you couldn't just be real with me? Who are you? My name is Akita. I just turned 20 years old. I only set that page up so I can get back at my ex-boyfriend, see what he was doing and all that shit. And I just felt bad when we started talking because you was just so fucking depressed about your boyfriend. And I'm just like, trying to give you advice and all this stuff. And no, I don't feel nothing for you. No, I'm not gay. No, I don't like women. And no, I'm not into you like that. I said, well, damn. I said, Telizza, go over there and knock her ass out one good time since you came all this way just to hear that shit. Bitch, what the fuck? And then, so, they left. I said, Telizza kept it together real cool. I said, you better than me, bitch. You better than me. I tell you that. Because somebody would have been on the floor, okay? Somebody would have been on the floor, and I'm going to tell you, wouldn't be me, all right? So the next day, Telizza was like, can we come and talk to you? She was like, no, you can come. I can come to y'all. And so they sit down and you know how they have the revealing of what's going on. And she was like, basically, she comes from a household that's very religious, and her mom and her friends and people that such in her family probably would have said something, and maybe disowned her, talked about her, and all this stuff if she would have came out and said that she was having feelings for the same sex, whatever. And if she typical. I was about to say something, but yeah, I understood that. And so I said, well, they know now. I hope you done told them before this episode came on, because they know now. All right. So they both in the same situation. This is their first time, feeling something or trying to act on a feeling of, being with somebody of the same sex, and being scared to come out and interact and say it to people. She is a little attracted to uh um Telizza. She do like her as a friend and everything. And she started telling them a story about how her mother fell for this scam. They got this house and kind of found out the person who sold it to him was a scam artist, and they had to be evicted out of the house a year ago. So her brother, her mother been living in this 1 bedroom room in the shelter for the past year. And I said, well, shit, girl, ain't none of y'all, how old is the little brother? You can't go get a job too? I hope you working, because you keeping your nails and your hair did. But I felt a little bad. And she was like, and what got me was Telizza's response, like, you over here going through the stuff that you going through, but you over here giving me it. So I couldn't really be so upset at her, because like she said, you giving her advice to get through stuff, but yet you the one really going through stuff, okay? It was like, you could have told me. She was like, what you gonna do? You up in Chicago. She was like, if you my friend, I don't leave my friends behind, all right? I'm always there for them. I said, come on, Telizza. Bitch, you smart enough. Not in this catfish situation, but you got some sense on you. I like you, girl. Okay? I said, Makeda, girl, apologize. And y'all, I kind of didn't expect them to be cool like they were at the end of the day, but 6 months later, they still cool. They still friends. And I'm like, see, this is a positive thing. They gain a friendship. Sometimes you just need people to talk to, and sometimes you need an understanding ear. Let me just tell y'all something. If y'all going through some shit, you do not have to catfish a person just to get somebody to talk to you or to get your mind off of something. There are people out here that's for everybody that's going through damn near everything that you're going through too, okay? You don't have to go this route. She could have been herself, and she could have still gained a friend, okay? Y'all both needed somebody to talk to, and y'all both could have used each other, okay? Sometimes you just need a listening ear. You ain't have to go through all this bullshit, all these lies, all these hoops and hurdles, because you could have lost a good friend, okay? You didn't can't. I got a question. Who paid for your trip to get out there to Chicago if y'all still living in the shelter? That's the only question that I have. I'm fine with the fact that you going to school. Telizza in school, she said it's a little hard, but she doing her work and she liking it. You and your mom about to get a house in 2 weeks. Y'all about to move out the shelter. My question is again, who paid for your ticket to get out there to Chicago? I just had a question. I know y'all was thinking the same thing too. But anyway, it was cute. She didn't gain a friend. But this made my heart a little soft. I need to go back to being a cold-hearted bitch that I be sometimes on this catfish shit. Like, when it don't make sense, you know, I'm like, bitch, it don't make sense. But this was cute. I actually kind of welcome this little change. This was cute. I don't care what y'all say. This shit was kind of cute. These little kids, god damn it, bitch, get off the goddamn internet. I'll see y'all later. Peace.